Ladies and gentlemen, the first update of January 2019. I mean 2023, 2024. Yes, it's 2024, and the developers of this game are still releasing Tier 2 characters. Now, I know what you're going to say. Alex, the rest of the Epic Quest looks really cool. Alex, they're only dropping one new uniform. Well, yeah, they're only dropping one new uniform because one of the characters that they're supposed to be dropping a uniform is getting a naked Tier 4. And his name is Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. If you missed that part of the update, yes, they're announcing Tier 4 for Cyclops, and there's no uniform for Cyclops. Of course, we still have to see the patch notes. For those of you wondering, the patch notes are going to be in 1, 2, 3 days. About 3 days from now, the patch notes are going to drop, and then we will see the totality of whatever this update is. However, based on the live stream, I am not full of hope and I'm not inspired by what I see. I'm actually a little bit concerned, a lot concerned with what I see. Let's get into the details here. So, what's good about this Epic Quest update? Well, for sure, what's good about the Epic Quest update is the number of new characters. That's always really good. Havoc is the main character of this update, so it makes sense that Cyclops is the Tier 4 since they're in the family, the Summers family. He's going to be native Tier 2. And then if you build him up to Tier 2 along with these other characters, you're going to be able to get Madeline Pryor, aka the Goblin Queen, unlock her as native Tier 2. You also have native Tier 2 Cable to deal with, as well as Rachel Summers, who is only available for now in the... well, she was available as a Danger Room character, but now she's only available through Dimension Mission chests. So one of the most brutally expensive native Tier 2s to acquire from an Epic Quest, possibly only, rivaled by characters like Thena, who require 10,000 crystals up front from other characters and shit like that. But fear not. There's ways that they can be outdone by this update here. So yeah, what else is good about this update? The character animations look really good. The character animations do look really nice. That was probably not the best animation to show you guys for why it looks nice, but yeah, the animations do look quite nice. However, that's kind of where it ends. So yeah, we are getting new characters, which is great. We are getting a combat female hero, which is really good. It sucks for Nebula, but hey, they got their 1,000 crystals from us, and we can't assume by default that Hope Summers is going to be better than Nebula. She does have guaranteed crit rate, and she does have a bunch of buffs, and she does have, I believe, a self-buffing lead. But hey, she might not be better than Nebula. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so that is good, right? The new characters are good. The animations are good. The combat type is good. And they also are, for the first time ever, giving us a universal mutant, which is the first time ever since, of course, Jean got the universal uniform in Exodus, which is really cool. And then that's basically it. That's the only good news I have to report to you about this update is the characters, the typing, and yeah, that's it. Because everything else is a disappointment, starting, of course, with Exodus. He's Tier 2. Now, again, I know that we have mid-months these days, and so rather than get the whole update in one day like we used to do years ago, which is what I started the video on, making that joke that it's 2019 and it's the Fantastic Four Epic Quest, I totally understand that, even for uniforms that are very recent, like, for example, if we go back and look here, the Dark Reign Epic Quest. When we originally got Molecule Man, as you can see here, he was Tier 2. And then they released his Tier 3 in the mid-month. Now, for that, you needed to build up native Tier 3 Sentry, as you can see here, along with these other characters. And of course, the Deluxe Pack character, Moonstone, is always present, so that's sort of normal, right? And then, of course, we know what happened with the next update, or the next time they did this, where they basically forced you to build up those 5 characters before you could even unlock Thena. Not quite as bad, but it was different in its own way. Even if Exodus gets his Tier 3 in the mid-month, which is what I expect him to get Tier 3 in the mid-month, and I expect maybe the Goblin Queen to get her Tier 4 in the mid-month. That would probably make the most sense. It still just does the thing that I expressly explained that they shouldn't be doing, which is delaying getting rid of other Tier 3s, or getting rid of other Tier 2s, right? Like, we've talked about this already. They need to get rid of the backlog of useless Tier 2 characters rather than adding more to that list, right? And they continue to do that with all of these characters. And so with this update, they're adding a tier 2 instead of getting rid of one, right? So what they could have done is they could have just released Exodus as a tier 3, as in, let's say, as a native tier 3, whatever. And then in the mid-month, in 2 weeks, instead of tier 3ing Exodus, they could have tier 3'd one of these characters. So instead of being a -1, which is what we want, right? It's basically 0. And so, yeah, we are still getting a couple of tier 2s moving out. We're getting Rachel moving out, and then we're also getting Kid Omega moving out because he's part of their Transcended skill. But that's it, right? In an epic quest, you know, with all these characters getting upgrades, you could only upgrade 2 tier 2s. Again, to me, it seems kind of dumb. I don't know. Maybe I have this thing kind of all confused and whatever. But here we go. I had to find it frame by frame. Here we go. Finally found it. 7,700 crystals. So, let's recap. They're releasing a tier 2 character in this update in the year 2024. They're releasing a tier 4 character with no uniform, which I haven't even given you the full rant on how stupid that is. And then to boot, they are deciding to, for whatever reason, call it inflation. Hell, the rest of the world is doing it. Why don't we do it too? Let's just raise the cost of the deluxe pack by 1,100 crystals. We're just going to raise it. You know, we're just going to raise it by like 16%. Why? Because we can. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense at all. It just makes no sense. It's so dumb. They're not even increasing the discount, so it's still only 1,500 crystals back. You're still only getting a 1,500 crystal refund. And yeah, listen, I know I could be overreacting. It's possible that the rewards that they give you are like way better and it justifies the cost. But this is not really the way to show players this kind of thing. Like, Marvel Future Fight has always had this problem where even when they have good intentions, they have the most ass-backwards way of displaying them and sort of showcasing them. And so, like, if they knew that they were going to show this screen during the live stream, then they should have instructed 3RL to also explain, you know, the cost is higher, agents, but because of that, you're getting some extra stuff. And please don't tell me the extra stuff that we're getting is the fucking loading screen, because he was advertising the loading screen during the live stream. I can't find it here, but you can see it right there as the first reward. I really hope that the loading screen is not the justification for the 1,000 crystals, because that's just absolutely insane. I really hope that the deluxe pack itself, like the mission, right? Because the deluxe pack unlocks these missions that actually have really good rewards if you know them, right? Like, they have really nice rewards here. The Fate of the Universe, right? It's like a lot of gold. It's bios. It's like 5-star stuff. So if they improve on this formula, if it's not just a copy paste, then I can definitely understand and I can see why maybe they up the cost. But that's another thing. There's potentially more bad news waiting for us. If they just copy pasted this deluxe pack quest and it's more of this shit where it's 4-star and 5-star like ISO, this is unacceptable, right? This is just like unacceptably bad. You can't keep copying and pasting the same rewards, especially since the last epic quest, the most recent one, actually improved the rewards, right? Because, you know, when they improve the rewards, it's kind of weird the way they did it, because you have to go to the Heroes United quests, but these ones drop artifacts, right? So I fully expect the new deluxe pack, the Rachel Summers or the Hope Summers deluxe pack, that needs to drop artifacts or something else very useful, right? Or like swords or something like that. It can't, this one right here, it can't go back to dropping ISO and shit. So we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I'm not really inspired by what I see. And to be honest, unfortunately, I didn't want to talk too much about it because it's just kind of a bummer. But it just looks like a generic epic quest. You've got the research, you've got the 3 missions, you've got the deluxe pack mission, you've got the unlockable character, and then you got the 4 quests that you're never gonna finish unless they have some crazy ass reward. And then everyone's just gonna try to finish that one and then ignore the rest forever. They didn't really try to do anything new, which sucks, and they had the opportunity to. So yeah, it's just a lot of like safe, boring decisions by the manager, by the producer, whatever, and then also bad decisions. In my opinion, bad decisions. Releasing a tier 4 with no uniform is a bad decision. Releasing a tier 2 character, a tier 2 only character in 2024 is a terrible decision. So it's possible the rest of the update is amazing, but these things have to be said, and the devs need to acknowledge that they do this and that players are not happy, right? Like, if you're not happy, we have to let them know. The other thing, if it doesn't piss you off enough already, is they're adding new Odin's Blessings, which are just a straight up power creep over the existing Odin's Blessings, because these are all elemental and they add attack and they add damage typing. So poison, fire, cold, mind, lightning. So these are now the best Odin's Blessings. You can get 4 on each character for Luna, the best for Odin, the best for Jean, right? All these elemental type characters, the best for Rogue, the best for, I mean, RIP, but the best for Nebula, right? Any elemental, the best for maybe not Namor, actually. No, yeah, the best for Namor, the best for Professor X, the best for Ghost Rider. There's a lot of tier 4 elemental characters, you know, even to a lesser extent, Miles Morales, Blue Dragon, Shadow Shell even, right? All those elemental damage characters. So, yeah, man. This kind of stuff on its own is not a bad thing, but when it's in the context of an update that they're making mistakes on, when it's in the context of an update where they're not trying anything new, where they're not giving us anything new, where they're not like expanding the game in a big way, it's a big disappointment. You know, it's a big disappointment. And then the other thing is I gotta say that the quality of life improvements here are a joke. They're truly just a joke. They just took this page and they copied and pasted it to the uniform page. That's not really a quality of life thing, man. That took one person like 5 minutes of work. There's no way you're gonna convince me that this like was some Herculean effort, bro. And then what else did they do? They added a page in World Boss. Like, you can't even make this up, man. This sounds like a meme because it's so stupid, right? So when you're on this page normally and you're like, oh man, I gotta check out what Cyclops does, you can see all that stuff: basic info, recommended position, element, passive. Now they're adding the following. They're adding the ability, which is like pretty much pointless. And then they're adding the uniform effect, and it doesn't even tell you what the effect is. It just highlights the effect if it's in use. So you can see this is like, these uniform effects are not doing anything for the team. Or I don't know, maybe you can hover over it. Maybe you can press down on it and it tells you. But what is this shit, bro? Nobody asked for this shit. We have so much more important things that you guys could be adding for quality of life. You want quality of life? What about allowing us to open multiple chests simultaneously? Why can't we craft multiple? Why can't you show us 10 chests at once? There's so many more quality of life changes. That's just one off the top of my head, right? Why can't I auto clear a bunch of missions simultaneously? Why do I have to go in, right, to every single mission one at a time, and I gotta press clear, and I gotta go here and I gotta press clear? So yeah, I gotta say I'm kind of disappointed. I got a bad taste in my mouth right now about this update. I'm gonna have another video out for you guys in a little bit with Death Proof. We're gonna be making a video sort of like reacting together to what's going on and sort of talking about the state of the game. So if you want that in sort of a wider scope, then stick around, stay tuned, go subscribe to Death Proof, check it out. But yeah, I'm really hoping that my my worst fears are not realized with the patch notes in a few days, and hopefully in these next few days, the devs will see the reaction, they'll see the feedback from the community, and they will make changes, they'll make tweaks to this update to make it better. Because right now, I think it's a half-baked update that is begging for a mid-month, and that's kind of shitty. You know, if your update needs the mid-month to be good, then it's not an update, right? The mid-month is not supposed to fix the mistakes of the update. The mid-month is supposed to add stuff to make the update even better. But if the update itself is missing an arm and missing a leg because you cut them off and put them in the mid-month, then the update's trash, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. For me, not for the Epic Quest. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.